Okay. Going to go ahead and work through the chapter review. Starting with number 2. My dad is in the Navy, and he says that food is great on submarines, said Diana. My mom is a pilot, added Jill, and she says that airline food is notoriously bad. My mom is an astronaut trainee, said Julio, and she says that astronauts' food is the worst imaginable. Diana concludes, I bet no life exists beyond Earth. As you move farther from the surface of the Earth, food tastes worse. At extreme altitudes, food must taste so bad that no creature could stand to eat. Therefore, no life exists out there. What do you think of Diana's reasoning? Is it inductive or deductive? Well, it's clearly inductive. Although she was most likely just joking, but it's inductive because she's using observations and recognizing patterns to make a generalization rather than an argument of what is true based on something else we know to be true. It's inductive. And number 3. Next is, think of a situation you observed outside of school in which inductive reasoning was used incorrectly. Write a paragraph or two describing what happened and explaining why you think inductive reasoning was used poorly. So inductive reasoning is used poorly when you have a conclusion that doesn't make any sense given what you're using it. So, for example, I could say that all the buildings in the school are cubes or squares shaped, so everyone's favorite shape in the school is a square. Or I could say that all the teachers at Bellevue Christian are over 5 feet tall. Therefore, every teacher at Bellevue Christian is I'm trying to think of this. Like if you are going to say, you could say like all basketball players, are tall. Therefore, if you're short, you're a bad basketball player, right? Like you could look at basketball players and say, okay, in order to be a good basketball player, you have to be over like 6'5", right? But what about Nate Robinson, who is like 5'5", and he's really good, right? And so he kind of makes that actually not necessarily true. So you don't necessarily have to be really tall to be a good basketball player. You could actually be short, that kind of thing. Okay, number 4. Think of a situation you observed outside of school in which deductive reasoning was used incorrectly. And write a paragraph or two describing what happened and explaining why you think deductive reasoning was used poorly. Okay. So again, you're just going to think of a situation where you're showing that something else is true based on what you already know to be true. So poor inductive reasoning would be poor logic, or logic based on things that are false, right? So in order for deductive reasoning to be good, you have to be arguing based on what you know to be true and also making your argument flow. Okay. So I could say that, if you're a lawyer arguing a case that someone's guilty of murder, you could say, well, he was near the scene of the crime and his fingerprints were on the weapon, right? So that would be like establishing that he was near, establishing evidence, and all of that would be used to prove he's guilty. But poor deductive reasoning would be if some of the evidence that he has is fabricated, or if his witnesses are lying, or if he's making conclusions that clearly don't make sense. Okay. And number 5. Find the next 2 terms in the sequence. So this is 5. This is 7, 2, 5, minus 3, 8, minus 11. So let's see. What would this be? So first we go down 5. Oh, actually, no, you know what we do? Look at that. 7 minus 2 equals 5. 2 minus 5 equals minus 3. 5 minus a negative 3 equals 8. So this one would be 19. And the next one would be minus 20. Or pardon me, minus 30. Okay, number 6. A4D9H16M25. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, M, L, M, N, O. That'd be O, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Look at that, 3 letters. H, I, J, K, L, M, and then M, N, L, M, N, L, O, P, Q, R. That would be R. And so in between A and D is 2 letters, and then that's 2 letters, and then 3 letters, and then 4 letters, and then 5 letters in between them. And then this is 4, 9, 6. These are perfect squares. So 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared, making that 6 squared, or 36. 7. Tanya's favorite lunch is peanut butter and jelly on wheat bread with a glass of milk. Lately, she has been getting an allergic reaction after eating this lunch. She is wondering if she might be developing an allergy to peanut butter, wheat, or milk. What experiment could she do to find out which food it might be? What type of reasoning would she be using? Well, since she's discovering something and running tests on it, this would definitely be inductive reasoning. And she could, just eat peanut butter and eat no wheat or no milk for a couple of days and see what happens. And she could eat just wheat, but no butter and no milk. Or she could drink milk and eat no wheat, no peanut butter. And if she does that over time, she'll be able to figure out which one it is. All right, we'll stop there for now. That was numbers 2 through 7.